Hello guys, welcome to episode 5 of Young and Different. My name is Evans, and as usual, I'm so honored to bring this episode to you because I know it will be a blessing to you and everyone else who watches it through the link to this video that you will share to your social media. When you see me wearing a coat, I hope you're not thinking today we are going to the butchery. Even though there's nothing wrong, tukienda kula nyama choma. But before I tell you who we are going to see in today's episode, let me read like 3 comments from last episode from some people here. And the first one I'm going to read is from Mark Wambiri. He says, getting excited every episode. Oh, for sure. This is my best episode so far. I have laughed at the beginning when the camera did some mishap. Did you guys watch the mishap? And I enjoyed the story, inspiring, and the best part, the challenge. And guys, listen to me, I always win challenges in all the videos, but for episode 5 there's a surprise, because this one I actually challenged myself. Okay, let me read another comment. This one is from Daniel Njuguna. He says, kudos Henry, you have been an inspiration since I met you in campus. It can only get better and brighter. Then lastly, Riel Canela says, really liking these episodes. Keep them coming. So we will keep them coming. Keep watching and keep sharing them. And remember, you can support this channel. Details on the description. Keep the pay bills coming. Yes. So guys, on today's episode, I'm so excited. I know when you see this cut, when you see the stethoscope, and when you see this, you already know the kind of person you are going to meet. I already look like someone who has studied for so many years. Yes, I look like someone who has been to school for over 10 years. So you guys should start calling me Professor Evans. But I'm so excited because today's episode is so inspiring. This is a young person who has done so much. You wonder, how come you've done all this at your age? And the challenge today is just a bit different. You guys have to watch this episode and remember to share the link to all your friends. You may never know who you are inspiring out there.
My name is Karen Muthembwa. I'm a doctor, a big sister, a daughter, and a mentor. I am passionate about reproductive health and in particular that of the youth. I was born in Zimmerman and grew up in Lavington. I knew I wanted to be a doctor when I was 6 years old. Now, I'm an obstetrics and gynecology resident and the founder of Dr. K Foundation. Live freely, fuller, and remember, life is good.
Dr. K, welcome to Young and Different, episode number 5. Wow, I've been longing for this episode. Dr. K, you were actually supposed to be in our episode number 2.
But things happened.
Yeah, things
happened.
Things to do. Yeah, but I think this is the right one for you to be.
Right.
Yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you
for being here. We are glad. We are grateful for the honor of hosting you in today's episode.
Yes.
And I know your story will be inspiring to so many young people out there.
Yes.
So tuambie kila kitu yani. Wacha tu flow. But most importantly, where I would like to start this from is your background. Like when I was growing up, I used to be told that being a doctor is a calling.
Yeah.
Like si kitu tu naamua ukue. It's a calling. Do you believe it's a calling, and how did you start?
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much for inviting me to this amazing program, because it's well needed, it's well, thought through, because ikitu ni important for everyone. So I'll start with, my name is Dr. Karen Muthembwa. I'm a resident in obstetrics and gynecology. I am also the founder of Dr. K Foundation, which just started this year. Hooray! Yes, and I'm also very passionate about the youth, about people, and particularly women of the reproductive age group, because this is what I do. Obstetrics and gynecology is about pregnant women, that's called obstetrics, and then gynecology is non-pregnant women, but we're now dealing with everything else down there that is in a woman who's not pregnant. So my story comes from a very, very long it came 30 something years ago. I was born to my mom and dad. That's Kezia Muthembwa and Josephat Muthembwa. Amazing parents. I have three siblings. Myself, I'm the firstborn. Then I have my sister Yvonne Muthembwa. Then followed by David, the only brother in the family, David Muthembwa, and then Joy Muthembwa. Very, very amazing people. So I grew up. Where did we used to live? I just remember we used to live in those sides for Kasarani. That was a very, very long time ago. I did go to a school called Raraka Academy for my primary. And that's where I discovered a few things about myself that I didn't know. It was a new school at the time. So, those schools that start when you're very small, so they grow with you up to class 8. So that was how it was for us. But the school grew very, very fast. So we had very amazing teachers. And what I remember as to where I came from in terms of where I started is I started with a play. There was a play in class 1. I was around 6 years old, I think. And our teacher, she chose me to be the doctor. And somehow I did this acting so well. And we're acting, for a big crowd of people. It was our parents. And I did it so well that somehow I just became the doctor of the class. And I tend to wonder whether at some point whether I was supposed to be like, maybe they should have seen I was also an actor. But at the same time, they started calling me a doctor. So that was amazing experience. So from then on, I didn't really think about being a doctor, but it was in me that I could really do something about helping people, because I love working and helping people, helping women. So I grew up, finished my primary school, went to Precious Blood Secondary School in Riruta. And very, very different experience for me, because this time I'm now in a boarding school. I didn't enjoy being in boarding school, but I still was able to acclimatize to the environment and all. And during this time, because I still wanted to be a doctor when I was going into my secondary school, I did not really I enjoyed all sciences. In fact, I did 9 subjects, but I did not enjoy biology. Surprisingly. Surprise.
Whoa, just. You didn't enjoy biology?
I didn't enjoy biology. I didn't like plants. I eat plants, yeah, but I didn't like learning about herbaceous things, those. There are some groups I didn't even right now. I don't, it's not my thing,
You are giving me hope, because I also didn't like biology.
Really?
Yeah, in high school. And in Form 3, I actually thought of dropping it because of the classification of plants.
Yeah. Plantae. It was called Kingdom Plantae.
The moment I saw phycophyta, I said, this fighting. I don't want to be a fighter.
Right. So even for me, I felt like I wanted to drop it. But at the same time, because I thought because I knew if I drop biology, it's one of the needed subjects for medicine. So I had to have a plan B. My plan B now was, I must be a pilot. And piloting just looks good. It's, it's fun. You travel the world, which is what I've always dreamed to do. Lakini, piloting nayo, I don't know. You still have to do other things like geography and all. So I had a sit down with my parents. I told them it was in second form and I was going to third form. This is when you drop your subjects. And I told them I want to drop biology. And we had a long talk, and they asked me, is this really what you want? Is when you become a pilot, will you wish that you were a doctor at some point? And I thought about it and I said, well, I don't think I'd like to be anything else other. Like, if I was to ever do anything, I needed to be a doctor first. Why? Because I really enjoyed the fact that I like learning about, disease treatment. And then at the time, I also had an auntie who was diagnosed with cervical cancer. and that really affected the way how she was being treated, why she didn't get the treatment at the right time. So all that, putting them together, I said, you know what, kiende biology must get into my subjects. So I did my Form 4, and I did biology, physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, Kiswahili. I did music, and I did geography, and I did one, I think, CRE. Yes, those are 9 subjects.
How did you do 9 subjects?
Imagine I did 9 subjects.
Schools are allowed to do that?
Yeah, in our schools. Yeah, in our school, we're allowed to do 9 or 8.
When it's
but not less than. It was not easy, but by God's grace, So I did this. I loved music. Music was one of my best subjects, of course, and physics and chemistry. But now biology was not my thing, But I ended up doing it. Gratefully, I got A's in physics and chemistry, but I didn't do so well in biology. I got a B+. Well,
B+ is not doing well.
But I was stressed.
Kwani mlisomea shule gani hizi?
I was stressed because it gave me an A- at the end of it, because I also had my Kiswahili wasn't as good as well. So eventually got an A-, not an AAA, because of those 2 particular ones. But my music, CRE, AA, those are the best subjects to do in high school, in my view. All the others I dropped, the home science and the computers. So I finished. So thankfully, the biology allowed me to register for medicine. But during that time, I don't know whether for you it was the same, 2 years of waiting to get into university did not make sense to me.
For me, it made sense.
It did. You just what did you do?
I just wanted to hang around, wake up late. Yeah.
I know. I just had plans, by 24 I should be,
Wow. You were so focused already.
I really wanted, I had counted. But then I sat down, I said, you know what, I need to, when I finish at 18 years, I need to join school the next year. So from 19, for 5 years, it was 5 years then, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 24. So you see, I counted 24. That's the time I was supposed to finish my school, right? I can't wait for an extra year. So I want to be a doctor by 24. Well, by that time, most of my even other classmates who were finishing with me had already started their work at 23, 21. But being in medicine 5 years, well, it does a number on you. So during that time, I knew I can't wait 2 years. So I applied. So before I applied for the other, what is it called? The parallel. I did ICDL 1 only.
That's for computers.
I didn't do ICDL 2.
Okay.
Just the computer, like you do Word, I think, just the simple things about
the packages.
Word. The packages, but you don't do Excel. So when you do ICDL 2, you go to Excel. That's when you do Excel and the rest.
Okay.
So to tell you the truth, I never did Excel. I only learned it when I was doing my research. So I dropped because I didn't feel like I needed to do ICDL 2. I went and I did not want to do ACCA and CPA. Everyone was doing it. I did swimming.
What a comparison. CPA and swimming.
I decided to do swimming as I wait for my opportunity to go to school.
Okay.
So I was doing coaching. So ideally I can coach swimming and I cannot do life saving in swimming. Because I used to be a very good swimmer when I was in primary, but when I went to secondary, there was no swimming pool. So I could only go for swimming in the middle of the term, like in between terms, which was not enough for training. So my parents really tried to put me in Otters Club, which was in St. Austin's at the time. I don't know where it is now. So I did like a couple of months, but now because I couldn't sustain it, I stopped. So what I did, I went back after high school and then did coaching and life saving. And that was really good for me because it relaxed me. I was applying now to a school out of the country because I didn't see myself doing University of Nairobi after 2 years. No.
Then you stayed in school for 10 years.
And then
because there are strikes every now and then.
Yeah, it was it didn't make sense to me if I was to going to hit my target at 24 years.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I applied to St. George's University in Grenada. That's Caribbean, Caribbean areas.
Swimming.
Yeah, swimming is my thing, but the heat, I was kind of thinking twice about it, But eventually I got in and the school fees was just crazy. It was going to cost us so much. So my parents, they were very supportive. They said, if she was able to do this. This girl can go, She can go because she'll get a scholarship. So they decided to just entice me with, they gave me the option of joining parallel program, which would cost less as compared to being in Grenada. And then again, to keep me in Kenya because I'm still young, they thought it will not be nice. They don't release their children before 20 something years. They want you to study here first and then do whatever it is when you're doing your master's if you want to. So yeah. So I ended up being in the university now, parallel program.
The University of
Nairobi.
So eventually you still went there?
I eventually still went to the University of Nairobi, but 1 year before the time ideally I should have gone. So we went through the parallel program. My first year, bodies and all that was, surprised me. I wasn't scared. I knew this is what I needed to do. So I just
I want us to stick there for a while. Because something that made me avoid anything to do with medicine is seeing dead bodies. Do you remember the first time you saw like a dead body? How did you feel?
They didn't give us the bodies first. What they do, they introduce you to parts. Because for some of us like me, I've never had in my life, I never ever saw a dead body. Even when my auntie passed on because of the cervical cancer, I never saw her. I never saw anybody, So this was my first time. And the first thing they bring is hands. Yeah, it's like a horror movie.
I'd rather they just bring the whole
like
body.
Like a horror movie.
Imagine just in a hand.
Hands. And they brought livers. But they've stayed for a long time, so they're not atty. Like the same way like when you buy from, they're dry. They've been fixed, I don't know how to say. So they're firm, So you have like a liver, you have a spleen, you have a brain, Yeah, it's like a horror. But that's like you introduce slowly. So because they don't show you, this is the liver, these are the parts, so that you get used to it. Then eventually, because what they do is that they have to open a new body for this group that has come in. So they can't just open and then close it. It has to be open when we are actually starting to cut the body. So that's why they do the introduction, slowly by slowly, small parts, bones and all that. There's the whole vertebra, small pieces, and this leg, so those are the kind of things we used to see. So yeah, then eventually now we ended up having tables were divided into groups and everyone had their own body. Ours used to be called John. John, their real name was actually John because they had the tag, Okay. But we don't know any other details apart from, I suspect, could have been from the Ma community.
Okay.
And then but we changed the name. We gave it Anaxunamun, which was a thing, in the great story about the mummy in Egypt.
The movie,
the movie. So it was kind of like to make it a bit depersonalize this, person that we already know the name. But yeah, it went well. Eventually, first year went by. We did well, thank God, all the way to fifth year, and then I graduated. And then I ended up being I was taken to Kikuyu Hospital for my internship. And then later on, after I finished my internship, I went to Nanyuki. That is Laikipia County. I worked there for 3 years. Worked as mostly as an obstetrics and gynecology. And that's how I developed my liking for obs and gyn. Because as a medical officer, you see everything. You do everything. You do all surgeries, everything. See sicknesses like TB, Nini. But now most of mine, because I did most of that in internship, including pediatrics, I decided because I want to do obstetrics and gynecology, I stuck to obs and gyn during my medical officer work. Then I came back to school and now I'm in my final year.
Wow. Final year of PhD, Masters? Masters?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. It takes 4 years as well.
For the Masters?
Right.
It's just like the undergrad. How long is the undergrad?
Is 5, but now it's 6. 6 years.
6 years. Then plus 4.
Then plus another 4, depending. If you're doing neurosurgery, maybe another couple of 5-10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, for neurosurgery.
And how has it been for you? Is it how you envisioned it?
Wow. Medicine. The way you watch things on TV, you watch ER. Have you ever watched ER or Chicago? And all they tell you is just their lives, right? They don't give you the details of what really goes on with handling patients, Well, the being able to make a diagnosis is a very good feeling. because at least you know this and this and this together, they make this. This is a very good feeling when you know what you're dealing with, yeah? Unfortunately, it's not always the case. It's not always that you will find that this patient has this, and this is equal to this diagnosis. That diagnosis might be hidden because you found this other diagnosis, you know? And that is the kind of thing that makes what is called internal medicine. Internal medicine is where you treat with medication for TB, diabetes, hypertension. So you get patients with weird things like house kind of, that series called house kind of patients, where you have to go back and think, but this medication did not work. So should we try this? Okay, yeah, let's do this one. Then this medication does not work. You try the other one, you know. So it's not as ABCD as it sounds, right? The other thing is that the experience of very high highs are very there. Very low lows are also there, where you can lose a patient. And you never really forget their face. You'll make me cry.
No, you want to hear like which has been
it's kind of triggering. My worst experience or my best experience. Or
let's
my
just call it lowest experience.
Oh God, I think we'll have to stop the movie. Oh, the video. Okay, fine. So my lowest was when I was actually in school here, when I was an undergraduate. And I had it always makes me feel like I'm getting to that point. But so this woman has a small baby. I was doing pediatrics at the time, and she lost the baby, and she found us resuscitating that baby. And I just remember her coming in, and she was trying to see whether that's her baby or not, you know, because they come to nurse after every 3 hours, and I need a tissue. So my worst part was the mother's experience. Not even the baby had already passed on, and we were trying to resuscitate and help the baby. But now the mother, what she saw, what she experienced was just, we cried together. Even until today, I've never gotten used to it. Wow, that went south.
Yeah. So it's not really something someone can get used to.
No.
Because I think one of the things we hear outside here, like us not being doctors, not being close to patients, we hear things like nurses are insensitive, or doctors are insensitive. They have seen death so much that they no longer care about it.
Yeah. It's not.
Wow.
It's not. We also feel it. We also even when a mother dies, or a baby dies, or you just delivered a mother and the baby dies, and you can see her, you feel it. You might not even, you're not the mother, but you feel whatever she's feeling. So we are not insensitive. We actually sometimes, if you even lose like when I used to do emergency at I did emergency at Nanyuki Hospital, the emergency department. You can imagine emergency, you're getting all kinds of patients. So I get this patients, you know, like a patient who has come, maybe they're okay for that moment, then they start having difficulty in breathing, and all you can do is oxygen and try and keep them, you know, because sometimes you don't have an ICU at that moment to, you know, intubate immediately, you know, and even if you intubate, something happens and that patient dies. Imagine we feel like closing the emergency. We just feel everyone doesn't, nobody wants to talk to the other, like you're done. So yeah, we do experience that. I feel like sometimes we're not really understood because most people think that we are hardcore. We're not. We're totally not hardcore. We are very soft inside.
And how do you deal with that?
There are many ways to deal with it. Other people, okay, I'll tell you the truth and how most people would do it. So some of us would talk about it. Some of us will have someone to, you know, maybe when you go back home, you just have this friend, you're like, hey, by the way, no, I had this patient, or even now when we're in obstetrics and gynae, we have a whole group where we say we lost this patient, what could we have done better? So we have that time where we can be able to discuss, feel bad about it, because it is okay to feel bad about it, and then discuss it, and then say we could have, maybe there's no much we would have added beyond this, or we could have done a bit better on this one. So we have that kind of discussion. Then there's the other way where you actually, if it actually affects you and your life and how you do it, sometimes you take a break. Personally, I do take breaks. I do travel myself. I take a break. I travel. I go. Apart from talking to my friends and all that, sometimes it gets really bad. You can get a psychologist. We have call lines for doctors to, talk to somebody. Even if it's anonymously, you have someone to talk to. Unfortunately, some doctors don't do all that and end up using substances. I think you all know sometimes it gets too bad. Someone gets into alcoholism, which is obviously not the best thing, because it gets worse with time, and other drugs, but we have ways to get, we have wellness groups also that help us with such things.
Because there's a neighbor of ours who was actually a doctor, and after a while he was so suicidal. And he actually died, which
he did.
And people think it was suicide. He was so suicidal.
A lot of that suicide, even recently, 2 weeks ago, we had a doctor who committed suicide. It was in our groups everywhere because he couldn't get a job. And of course, being a doctor, everyone is relying on you. The whole family is waiting for you. You should be able to do things. He can't seem to get the job and couldn't put it together. And it's unfortunate that a lot of suicide has been happening. Even where I used to be, another doctor also, she was an anesthesiologist. Wale wa kulalisha patients, and with alcoholism and all that, it really got bad, and eventually she was found dead in the house. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So we are not hardcore. We are also human.
I can see it. That means even as we visit the hospital, we should be sensitive about the doctors too.
I'd
like to take you just back a bit. So how, on the case of that baby, how did you handle the mother? Like, what happened?
I was still a student at the time, so we didn't know much about handling anyone who has had grief. And to tell you the truth, even after we finish, sometimes we don't know how to. That's why we have psychologists. And immediately if it happens, we always have our team, like, the psychologists, psychiatrists who come in and take over. But what I could do myself, I didn't know much. I was a student. All I could do was cry with the mother. All I could do was be with the mother and, support her, And at some point, let me tell you, the funny thing is, now she's the one who was telling you, just relax.
She was not comforting you now.
Right, But she was a very strong mother, and I feel for those women who lose their babies. It's a very painful situation, but but with we were not qualified to do counseling on her particularly, but the hospital usually has for any grief, there's always support that comes in from the counselors particularly.
Okay.
I was a student. I didn't know, but it was prematurity.
Wow. I think after maybe several years of dealing with people, seeing them at their lowest, helping those you can, seeing the happy moments. I believe that must have birthed something in you. Like to want to do more, to help others.
Yes.
Because there's a time I think I saw it on social media, something to do with under 21.
Yes.
Maybe you can tell us more about that.
Right. Because of all these experiences and dealing with disease and conditions that had prevention, and particularly pregnancies, it was in 2020. There was a very high rate of teenage pregnancies. And I saw it and I'm like, what are we doing about it? What am I doing about it? Because I have something to give, I have something to offer. So I picked up my phone one day in my office. That time I was starting off, it was my first year, I think first year or second year of master's. And I picked my phone and I was there. Anybody who's under 21, just reach out to me. Reach out to me. Let's have a WhatsApp group and let's start. Let me tell you, that thing just went viral. Went viral. And the next thing you know, I just had this group of girls, almost 120, 150, who, whenever they join, they want their friends to join. It was just a consistent, it was like something that's picking, like a snowball, just picking up snow. So I felt the need to help young girls, because the issue is the fact that they might not have the strength to say no, even if they know that they should say no. And then there's this acceptability in the community and in the environment where we say, yeah, it's okay, see, you know, you can just do this, it's okay. But until you get pregnant and know that this is the thing that will keep you, you'll be with this baby for the rest of your life, you know, or you go and do abortion. And abortion is not legal in Kenya, it's illegal. You go and do it somewhere because you have to hide, then it becomes a problem, and then there's death. Then what are we doing about this? That's how Dr. K Under 21 started. And Dr. K Under 21 was a group of girls on WhatsApp group. And this WhatsApp group was where we discussed things every single day. We were doing reproductive health, mental health, anything that somebody wants to talk about. And what I realized is that it's not just about reproductive health that these girls needed. They needed other things. Like most of them and some of them would complain about maybe a trauma that happened to them a long time ago. Things to do with family, social issues, past traumas that they experienced, vitu kama, you know, emotional shame, some of them would actually experience emotional assault from their own family members, which was very, very surprising, you know, but these are the things I learned through the group. So we went on learning. We involved psychiatrists, we involved counselors, we involved other gynecologists who would come in and help to help, you know, within these questions. You know, if they can't reach me, they can be able to reach anyone in the group, and we'd have conversations. So 2 years later, some of them, you know, the youngest was 16 years. Now she's 18 years. The oldest at the time was around 24, you know, because they said, no, please just add me even if I want to be in this group. And they also were benefiting. So right now they are 2 years older. And so some of the team that was in the WhatsApp group would be very active and would reach out to me and say, Dr. K, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? Because last year was 2020. I wanted to have a meeting with them because we couldn't meet because of COVID. We were just having conversations. So we had never met with anyone but I know their names, all of them, right? So whenever they would call me, they would come and tell me, how are you doing? Some would even call and just find out, how are you doing, Dr. K? You know, that's so touching. You know, they've grown up to a level where they become, you know, and they didn't have any issues with pregnancies. And of course, there was one or two who would call me and tell me, I made a mistake, you know, I took the emergency pill, you know. But anyway, so the whole thing was to ensure that we can reduce these pregnancy rates and of course instill information and knowledge to these young girls. And that's how Dr. K Foundation was started. Very, very interesting way, because it was the ones who started it, who kept on saying, let's do this, are members, part and parcel of Dr. K Under 21.
Looking into the future, what do you want to achieve through the Dr. K Foundation?
Yeah, so the whole main aim of the foundation is to achieve the best reproductive health for everyone who comes across it. And this means that I am reaching out to the youth. I want them to avoid making wrong decisions, for them to be able to have negotiation skills so that they can be able to achieve their best reproductive health, you know, and also know their rights in their reproductive health. With this older group, which is the over 21, which will still be part of the Dr. K Foundation, the main aim is to grow them to their best health. That it means mentally, physically, economically, emotionally, you know, and in all ways, and in particular their reproductive health, because, you know, reproductive health is life. It's what brings up other lives, you know. So if we know when to have safe sex, choose when to have children, decide, you know, how we're going to space, then it will help you with your mental health and your whole life in totality. So basically, we're giving people's lives a meaning in a different way, in a different approach. Yeah.
What if someone wants to be part of the foundation in terms of probably sponsorship or
Yes.
mentorship?
Yeah.
Do you need such help, or you're good?
Definitely. First of all, we invite everyone who's interested in joining the Dr. K Foundation, and especially even companies and institutions that have the same vision and purpose that we do have. So there are different ways to partner with us. Either if you have a particular skill, because you can see we're talking about mental health things, we're talking about financial health, because health is encompasses a lot. If you're good at negotiation skills, communication skills, those are the kind of people who have those skills that we are inviting to also join us, so that they can take part in the training of these young women. And of course, we also have gentlemen in the older group, so we've not left out the boys as well, the men, sorry. But we also allow
boy child. At least kuna mtu analilia boy child.
Yeah, for sure. We have to remember this, Someone is asking me to also include a Dr. K under 21 for boys, so we are in the works, but we're working on it. But again, we also encourage anyone else who is willing to come in, because we do work. We have workers in the foundation who go into the schools and also do these things. They also need some little bit of encouragement, and those ones who are giving themselves to the foundation, we need to also support them, and of course the working in and out of the foundation. So we encourage anyone who's able to sponsor, to partner with us in sponsorship or with collaboration, to join us. We are open. We're an open foundation.
My name is Miss Knight. I'm Dr. Karen's assistant. I'm also in charge of the School of Life, which is an arm of Dr. K Foundation.
I am Joy Kemei, and I am the project manager in Dr. K Foundation and the social media manager too.
I met Daktari online. I was referred by a friend to the group that is Dr. K under 21. That's where I met Daktari. They used to share videos of what she does on YouTube. I also followed her on Instagram. I asked her, who is your assistant? And she was like, for now, I don't have an assistant. Daktari talks, No, I don't have an assistant. And I was like, yeah, I think I can be one.
So how did I meet Dr. K? I was literally scrolling through Instagram and I saw this call, and she's like, if you're under 21, I would like to meet you. I would like to have something with you. So just DM me and I'll add you to a group. And I DM'd her and she added me to a group, and that's how 2 years later here I am.
Dr. K Foundation is the baby to Dr. K under 21. So we have 3 arms. One, we have Dr. K under 21. This involves all those ladies who are below the age of 21 years. Then we have the big sisters, the big sister you never had. So these are the mentors too. These are under 21s. They coach, they mentor, they help these under 21 in answering those difficult questions. We also have the third arm, which I'm in charge of, which is called the School of Life. The School of Life, this is now where we incorporate men, because it involves all the skills that we need for living with self and living with other people, all interpersonal and interpersonal skills.
So basically, there's so many activities in the foundation. There's webinars, there's meetups, there's school outreaches. Let me start with webinars. We had one recent one on contraceptives. We have a webinar once every 2 months, talking about either mental health, reproductive health. We also have school outreaches that's in various schools. So we also have the meetups, and one of the meetups happened last year in November. That's in 2022. It was amazing. We had ladies, we had a lady picnic, but we'll have more meetups this coming year.
So through the foundation, I've been able to be more self-aware, which I really appreciate. We usually have leadership sessions weekly, which have been so impactful to me. It has also helped me to be more intentional about myself, be more intentional about my life.
Personally, the foundation has not only given me purpose, it has empowered me in so many ways. Just to name a few is financially, emotionally, physically, and it has become the big sister that I never had, because growing up as a firstborn, you're never told a lot of things. You're just left to the world to learn a lot of things. So Dr. K especially she and the other doctors she works with in the under 21 group that we had has been more than a big sister.
So first, Dr. Karen, on behalf of the other under 21s and all the members of the foundation who are the beneficiaries of this foundation, we have people who've had their school fees paid through the foundation. We really appreciate you. I myself, you're not only a boss, you're the best boss, and I love you. Thank you for being the big sister that I never had. Apparently I've been brought up with men, so being the only daughter, I think I needed a big sister to tap into my feminine energy. And thank you for the leadership sessions that we always had weekly. They've been so impactful. It has helped me be more intentional with my life, which I really love it. And I love the fact that by working with the foundation, I've been able to find the intersection between doing what I love doing what I'm good at, and you see the things that you just do to be paid. I think I'm doing what I love doing and what I'm good at. So this is I'm literally building a career. I'm not just working. So I really appreciate you. I love you, and you're the best.
Dr. K, all I'd like you to know first of all is a thank you. You have been the big sister we never had. I never had, to be precise. And may God bless you. You have impacted my life in so many ways. I can not name all of them. And keep on doing what you're doing, because you impact so many people without knowing. I love you so much, and keep doing what you're doing.
Wow, thank you guys for staying to this part of Young and Different. And I know you have enjoyed Karen's story. You know, Dr. K, what I love about your story is how you were not just satisfied to remain with just the name doctor. You know, others are just glad they are being called a doctor and that's it. You went out of your way and thought of how you can make a difference in the lives of young girls. And you're even extending to young boys.
Yes.
Yes, and that's very inspiring.
Yeah.
And because of that same inspiration that we have taken from that part, we are going to the best part of this show, the challenge part. So what do you think your challenge will be?
I don't know. From the last ones that you've done, I don't think you'll do jokes with me because I'll obviously laugh.
You laugh
I
at
laugh
all of them.
by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at
you'll make me think I'm a funny guy. I think, guys, what do you think? For doctors, what is the most stereotypical statement about doctors?
I think they assume that we're very hardcore.
Hardcore?
Yeah.
And their handwriting. I think we should make her
My
right.
handwriting is not that bad.
We should make her right. Eh?
Okay, well, it can be
Director
bad.
Madam Director is taking the book. We are not writing.
Look at the handwriting. Look at the handwriting.
We'll show you guys a cutaway of her handwriting.
Oh, gosh.
Then you will judge whether
Tell me
she's
to
actually
write.
a
I'll write
doctor.
for you, and then you will take that cut away. Don't just look for
okay.
any book. Yeah.
Okay,
You'll never be able to even read whatever that's in that book.
Okay. But for your challenge, I think we'll do something I know you like. So it's actually a challenge for me. So today we are going to sing. You see, she's
You like
excited.
catching me off guard, lakini.
Huh?
This
Jifanye
is like
huko
too
unajua.
much.
Anajifanya hako unajua. Niliafu kumwambia.
Lakini
Mimi
I
niliafu kumwambia.
love to read. Like I have to read. I have to read it, obviously.
Yeah. This one I had
it's
to
very
tell you.
random. Alafu anasema lazima ikuwe original.
Original song.
How?
Now that was a challenge.
How?
Nilimwambia in advance, but it had to be an original song. Then I challenged myself to be part of the song.
Yeah.
So I'm just praying and hoping that I don't spoil the song.
We'll make sure that we make it well, but I still win.
Okay.
win.
Hii hakuna ya kushinda. Juu hakuna venye naweza shindwa kwa show yangu.
So I'm just gonna win. So just accept.
Guys, this one you'll judge both of us together. You'll judge the song. Not the individuals. There's no way I can lose in my own show. It's not possible.
No, I still win. I'm winning.
Yeah, so that's our challenge for today. We are going to do a song. Hope you guys will enjoy it.
I will not despair, I will not be moved. Jesus, you are King, Jesus, you are God. No one else compares, no one else will do. Jesus, you are King, Jesus, you are God. Let the people know you are God alone.
You are God alone.
You are all I want, forever you will do. Let the people say what they wanna say. You are God alone, you're all that matters. I will not despair, I will not be moved. Jesus, you are King, Jesus, you are God. No one else compares, no one else will do. Jesus, you are King, Jesus, you are God.
They say I can't sing to save my life. Cause of you I boldly say I'm alive. So I met you when just 11, my life fully changed to 007. When I had a song with words still ring. God loves people more than anything. More than anything, He wants them to know He'd rather die than let them go.
Mighty God, you are so great. Mighty God, you are so great. I will not despair, I will not be moved. Jesus, you are King, Jesus, you are God. No one else compares, no one else will do. Jesus, you are King, Jesus, you are God. I will not despair, I will not be moved. Jesus, you are King, Jesus, you are God. No one else compares, no one else will do. Jesus, you are King, Jesus, you are God. Let the people know you are God alone. You are all I want, forever you will do. Let the people say what they wanna say. You are God alone, Jesus, you are God.
We. Ai wadau. Umemaliza kucheka? Juu najua part 2 umecheka ni yangu. Hi Dr. K. Why like this? Why like this?
Competition. This
Why like this?
You have to win all the time.
Must you shine like that?
Lazima.
Honey, I
Lakini
thought...
hata venye anaongea hivyo, this guy ameziplan. Ameplanisha rap zake for 2 days.
In fact, I didn't sleep.
Mimi nilikuwa na only at least I had a few hours to write it.
Me, I didn't even sleep. I watched tutorials on YouTube of how to rap as a beginner. Hazikunisaidia.
But it was fun. It was fun.
Nilitumia producer tu ni Kim. Hata kama anajua producer anaweza nyongo hapa. Our producer is Kim. Excellence on this. Epitome Republic. I sent him my lyrics. Do you know what he told me? Yeah, tukoni ni shairi za primary school. Yeah, so I think this challenge, as we said guys, this challenge, you're not judging who did it better. You are judging the song. It's about, you see the way people say don't listen to the voice, listen to the words. Yeah, this is it. This is a challenge for that.
Mtanyamaza tu, lakini ni sawa. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Wow, Dr. K, that was amazing. At least guys now can see you are many, how do they say it? Multifaceted
Yeah,
Kizungu
I'm a
imekuwa kizungu
multifaceted
mkuu.
personality.
Yes. Like she can sing. So if you guys think she should do more music, comment section. Yeah, so Dr. K, I know you are a well-traveled person. Which country have you not gone to?
That's a good question. Well, I wish I would answer that, but because I'm still not yet at 50% of the world, I would say the ones I have traveled to.
Okay.
Luckily, I'll divide them into continents. I'm a big fan of travel. I like to travel.
Are you hearing? She's dividing it into continents. Okay.
God's grace.
Okay. Which continent should we start with?
So the US.
Okay.
Several states, Pennsylvania, New York, Washington, D.C. I've also done New Jersey. Some of them are very close to each other, so I thank God.
She's still single. You didn't hear that. Okay, continue.
And lose track.
Okay. To talk American continent.
So let me do Africa. I've done Kenya, Uganda, Zanzibar, Mauritius, Ethiopia, Nigeria. Yeah, maybe I've forgotten another one. I don't know, but you'll get there. Then Asia, I've been to China, India. I think that's Australia. Australia, Nasdenda, South America. Tell me you are rich without telling me you are rich. Oh, and I've gone to Europe as well. I forgot to mention. So Europe, I was in. Yeah, I'm rich in Jesus' name.
She's even forgetting where she has traveled. Wengine wetu tukienda tu Uganda hatutawahi sahau.
Lakini hata nyinyi umetravel.
Si Uganda. Hata Dubai, imagine hata Dubai. She's not even mentioning Dubai.
Yeah, the UAE.
And your favorite destination.
And the Qatar.
Your favorite destination, was it?
Oh, yeah, Mauritius.
Imagine.
I said Mauritius.
You said?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mentioned Mauritius. Europe was also really nice. I've done France. I've done Germany, Czech Republic, Austria was one of the best places.
You see why I asked which ones have you not gone to? But it's okay.
Lakini ni vizuri ukiliza hivyo because now we have our next ones to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe my last question to you will be, where do you envision Dr. K Foundation in the next 5-10 years?
Wow. Dr. K Foundation is international. We've reached out over 1 million girls all over the world. Wow. We've empowered many people, including the people in the foundation, and increased their power and their wealth and their, all of them, I want them to be empowered.
Wow.
Yeah, and I want Dr. K Foundation to be a household name.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means the next time I'll not be asking you where you have traveled to. We'll be asking which countries is Dr. K Foundation in.
Right.
And
Hallelujah.
we'll start with the continents again. Wow.
Hey.
Hapo ndipo.
Hapo umeshinda.
I'm receiving seed. Mbegu ikuje.
Na M-Pesa. Ukututumia till number.
Iko. Description, guys. Description. Kuna till number.
Iko hapo tu.
Wow. So thank you so much, Dr. K. As I said in the beginning of this video, it was an honor to have you.
Yes,
and I know you have inspired so many guys out there. People may be saying, you did all that, you have done all that, and you're still young. Yes, you too can be young and different. And that's why we're having this show, to highlight the stories of many young people all around the world doing things to make a difference. Yours could be the next story to be told on this show. So get going, start from where you are. Start making a difference one person at a time. And that's it for today's episode number 5. Remember to leave your comments, your like, share the link to this video to all your social media platforms. And in case you know anyone who needs to be featured on this show, you can drop their names on the comment section. Until next time, keep it young. Keep it young. No, I sound. Keep it young. Until next time, bye. Keep it different. So guys, until next time,
I will not despair.
I will not despair.
I will not be moved.
I will not be moved.
Jesus, you are King. Jesus, you are God. No one else compares. No one else will do. Jesus, you are King. Jesus, you are God.